Hello there and welcome to the Criticalbench YouTube channel. I'm Coach Chris Wilson. I'm the creator of the Neurobalance Therapy program, and I want to share with you today why your fear of falling is normal and okay, because falling when we're younger is very, very different. We get good at falling when we're younger. We're supposed to be. We're supposed to be good fallers, especially when we're just learning how to walk. A year old, year and a half or so, 2 years old, and all the way up through our teenage years, we do a lot of falling. But our bodies are in a much different condition at that age. Not only when we're younger are we much lower to the ground, right? Our bodies aren't we're more designed to fall at that age. We're a little bit more rubbery. Everything isn't all hard yet on the exterior. We're pretty soft. We're little balls of fat, really. And you know, you get bumps and you get bruises when you're little and you fall. But as you get older, especially when you get up in age, over the age of 50, when you fall, it can be a very scary occurrence. When you fall when you get older, it might not be a bump or a bruise. It might be a severe head injury. It might be a fracture of something like your hip or your shoulder or your your knee or your leg. People are very scared of falling when they're going up and down stairs, when they're going from one room to the next, when they're moving in poorly lit areas or in the dark in the middle of the night. And then there's a fear of people that just falling backwards. There's people that live in the north and in the winter time are scared of walking anywhere where there might be ice because they might slip. There's people that don't want to walk if it's raining outside because it's slick and it's easy to go down. So I have some statistics here because I think a lot of people, sometimes people don't even want to share an event. When you get older, it's almost an embarrassing thing to fall. Geez, I hope nobody saw me. You're more concerned about the effect of the fall rather than any potential injury to your body. You're afraid that someone might have seen you trip or fall or stumble, and then that might be embarrassing to you. So I have some stats here that are actually pretty mind-blowing when it comes to falls in older men and women. Each year, millions of older people fall. That's why I'm talking about this right now. Those that are 65 and older are the ones that I'm really focusing on here because that's where things can become quite scary. More than 1 out of 4 people fall every year. But less than half, so less than half tell their doctor. So that's what I'm getting at, is that it's almost embarrassing for people if they do fall in their own home. They're less likely, or 50% of them are not going to tell anyone that it happened. Okay. Now, of course, there are those moments where it's just, it was a genuine thing. Like you really just caught your foot on something and went down, and luckily nothing happened and you were okay. But if it's a recurring thing, if you're falling on a more regular basis due to other things, then it's something to look at and something to think about and work on and get better at. Falling once doubles your chances of falling again. That's not good, okay? So here's why falls are serious and costly, right? 1 out of 5 falls causes a serious injury, such as a broken bone or head injury. 1 out of 5. Each year, 3 million older people are treated in emergency departments, emergency rooms and hospitals for fall injuries. And over 800,000 patients a year are hospitalized because of a fall injury. And it's most often because of a head injury or a hip fracture, as I alluded to earlier. So those are the two most common injuries why people are seeking medical help after a fall. They're either hitting their head on something or they're fracturing their hip. Okay, the hips, the center of the body, you know, that kind of take all the force of the fall, right? Each year, at least 300,000 older people are hospitalized for hip fractures. That's a big number. More than 95% of hip fractures are caused by falling, and usually by falling sideways. Okay, so like a lateral fall. Falls are the most common cause of traumatic brain injuries. And in 2015, the total medical costs for falls totaled more than $50 billion. That's with a B. Okay? These statistics are from the CDC. Okay, so the Center for Disease Control and Prevention put these numbers out. This is pretty alarming stuff. Now, the reason I share these statistics with you is not to scare you, to frighten you, but for it to be a wake-up call. As I said earlier, oftentimes when we're not seen at our best, we trip, we fall, we stumble. I saw a woman the other day at the Little League fields trip and fall on some slick kind of mud and water, and she was quite a few feet away from me, but it was all she could do to kind of get back up as fast as possible, because I think there's an embarrassment factor there to going down. But really, the focus should be elsewhere. It should be on, you know, are you okay? You know, did you get hurt? Is that bruise not really a bruise but a fracture? Did you hit your head? You know, there's a seriousness in falling. And when you're younger, it's not a big deal. But when you get up in age, it can be extremely scary. But our bodies are also going through a lot of change when we get older, when our nerves aren't, we don't feel the same way. Our sensory information isn't quite as good. Our motor skills aren't quite as good. Our muscle, our strength is not quite as good. Our reactionary time is not as good. So when you kind of pile all those things together, any kind of movement, like I said, from one room to another, from your bedroom to the bathroom, from the kitchen to the garage, right? Your daily movement patterns can be interrupted because you're dealing with some type of nerve-related issue or muscle-related issue. It could be a whole host of different things. But when that confidence takes a hit, when you're not feeling as sturdy and stable and supported on your own 2 feet, it can be a very, very scary thing. And that is normal, and it's okay to feel that way. Don't be embarrassed about it. It's just kind of what happens in that last third of your life. If you break your life up into thirds, I like to do this, like 1 to 30, 30 to 60, and 60 and beyond. Those first 2/3 of our life, we don't really spend a lot of time thinking about our balance and our ability to not fall over. We do certainly in those first few years of our life as we're learning how to walk and how to move, but then it just becomes, something that's just running in the background, like a lot of things in our life. Our brain to foot connection is quite strong, so a lot of processes of the body just kind of happen autonomically. They're just automatic, okay? But as we get up in age, we have to work at being better balanced. We have to work at strengthening the lower legs and making sure that connection from our feet to our brain is as strong as it possibly can be, okay? And so there are 3 lies that a lot of us believe about balance and about falling. Number 1 is the big mistake is that over the years, a lot of people gravitate right to some type of balance device. They go right to, so you got maybe an older person that a trainer is working with, and I made the same mistake. You take somebody that's working on their balance that's maybe a little bit unsure, unsteady, not in the best shape of their lives, and they're 55, 60, 65 years old, and you're throwing them right on a BOSU or on a stability ball. There's actually a lot of stuff you should be doing with them before that before putting them on something else, some type of balance or stability device, you should be doing a lot of body weight exercises and stimulation of the nerves in the lower leg, doing stuff where they feel more grounded. I would actually go to some barefoot training. I would go to doing a series of single leg exercises. Lots of things that can be done before just rushing right to the newest toy or the most colorful object in the room. Those things are fun, but I would say that those things serve people better when they're in their younger years or they're really fit. As you get up in age, there's a lot of other things to consider, and safety being the number one thing to consider. And we want to kind of start at the basics and work on the basics without all the cool, hot, new trending toys. Another thing a big mistake that's made in the fitness industry, again, I'm guilty of all these things because I worked in the industry face to face with people for 20 years, is that the shoes on your feet. So people always are, into the latest shoes and, usually pretty darn thick soles. And hey, it's good to have a good supportive shoe and footwear. I make sure I always have a comfortable pair of sneakers to wear here at the office, but a lot of us spend very little time barefoot. And I feel that is a huge disservice that we do for ourselves, is by limiting our time without anything on our feet. You ever notice how good it feels to kind of walk in the sand at the beach or walk in the grass in bare feet? Or if you happen to be somewhere where there's maybe big rock slabs and stuff, or just about anywhere, just being in the water, in the ocean, swimming, anything you can do with bare feet just has a really great effect on the whole body because of the sensory information that's happening. There's a lot of sensory information in your feet. And when you mask that constantly by wearing your shoes, especially when exercising, you're actually diminishing the messaging that's going on between your feet and your brain. And you're actually turning off certain parts of your brain by always having something on your foot. So I'm not saying kick off your shoes and never put them on when you're exercising. I'm just saying that some form of barefoot activity and exercise should be part of all of our lives, even as we get up in age. And I know that some of the trends have gone a little bit more that way in more recent years, is that people are doing more minimal shoe activity, but just lots of different types of activity and exercise in bare feet is highly recommended. And of course, it's a personal thing. It depends on the person. There might be some issues with certain people where they require footwear. I get that. But for most of us, we could certainly benefit from more barefoot training. Number 3 is that what a lot of people believe is that older men and women have a higher chance of falling just because of their age. Certainly, I said that there is a loss of balance as we get older. We know that. But it doesn't have to be that way. It's just because of the way we go about our movement patterns, the way we train, the way we do things. I've seen older folks that are highly active that are probably in better shape in their 60s than they were maybe in their 40s, because they've made health and fitness a priority in their life. So even if you're up in age and you weren't active maybe in your younger years, you still have the capacity to make massive improvement in how well you're moving and how balanced you're feeling. I have no doubt in my mind, because I've seen it with my own 2 eyes, when people are consistent and dedicated and really are goal-oriented, they get great results. And it opens up the doors in your life. You have independence and freedom and the ability to do all the things that you ever wanted to do, just because you're investing the time and the energy in it, and it doesn't require a heck of a lot. It's just kind of like regular stuff, regular commitment. But a lot of these exercises that you'll find in my neurobalance therapy program are very gentle, very easy to do, and it really just comes down to forming good habits and doing stuff over the long term, which play out just really big for you in your life and can really help the confidence. It can help you navigate through this fear of falling. Doesn't mean the fear of falling is completely gone. It just means that you're able to live with that fear, recognize it, and still have the confidence because you know that you're investing the time and the effort in improving your balance and your ability to move well in your own home, out in public, and you're able to still do things for yourself. And that's I'm a huge advocate for, is for our older men and women plus 65, that they are able to still do things for themselves and maintain their freedom and their independence, and to be able to not rely on others for every little part of their life. So the Neurobalance Therapy Program, if you're interested in finding out what you can do today to start working on improving your balance in your own home without any any heavy equipment and very gentle activity, you can do it in just a matter of minutes with the Neurobalance Therapy Program. If you want to learn more, go to the pinned comment below this video, and you'll find all about the story and why I created this program that is benefiting thousands of men and women, and it's really a life's work for me. It was my passion, and I really feel like this could help you if your fear of falling has gotten the best of you, and this will help without question. So go to the description area below, the pinned comment above me in the cards, or at the end of this video at the end screen, and you can learn more about my program, Neurobalance Therapy. I thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a great big thumbs up. Subscribe to the Criticalbench YouTube channel for more content like this about balance, and leave a comment or question for me. I'd love to hear from you, and I will answer you back. Thank you.